There are 6,000 people across South Carolina on a wait list for places like Osprey Village, special needs housing designed to give adults living on the autism spectrum a safe, inclusive place to call home. But for many, some who have been waiting on that list for a decade or more, it's more than just a house. It's the first real step towards independence.
Live 5's Justin Kollar takes a closer look at the growing need for intellectual developmental disability housing and how recent budget cuts at both the state and the federal level have made this issue much worse.
Today, Osprey Village is a busy thrift store, serving 2 locations in Beaufort County. But what you buy here is helping to build something more.
We're really creating a community.
Working to address the housing crisis for folks living with intellectual or developmental disabilities has taken the folks here at Osprey Village years. But they say they're finally ready to transform those dreams into reality. Here at the future home of Osprey Village, where they hope to break ground yet this year.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Trading housewares and hangers with leaves, trees, and birds that will all eventually be replaced by this blueprint.
The mission is to make sure that folks with intellectual and development disabilities have accessible living, have a place to call their own.
Tom Swansiger stands to gain from this project, but his passion is personal. His sister lives with IDD.
She's also on the spectrum. She has IDD. So I get where those parents are coming from, and I get where, what they're doing. So my sister lives down here with us, and to have something like this for her would be great.
What Osprey Village is building is not only housing, it's community. A place where residents will not only live, but thrive, with daily activities, arts and crafts, meals with friends, and safety.
The reason why I want to live at Osprey Village is to live independently and be close to my friends.
27-year-old Jonah Zagari loves movies, music.
Yeah, music and movies.
What kind of music do you like?
Rolling Stones.
And is ready to make some noise out on his own. But like so many others living with special needs, his journey to independence has been long.
You get so used to also caring for your child that you don't always think that that's an option for them to live independently. But then you realize you're not getting any younger, and you want to make sure that he's going to be okay when you're not around any longer.
The Zagaris moved to South Carolina from New Jersey 6 years ago, in part because the wait list for supportive housing there was even longer. What they've found in Osprey Village is hope, and maybe someday a job for Jonah.
We have like a job readiness program that we're actually kicking off in the fall. So we'll give them the adequate training that they need to hold the job. But I think it gives them, a sense of belonging. Get up every day, go do something. We're going to employ them. We already employ some of our future residents in our thrift stores.
But building that future hasn't been easy, and it certainly isn't cheap. Recent state-level funding cuts have jeopardized critical pieces, like the community center, that would serve residents and the greater public alike.
In the current economic aspect, especially for nonprofits, we're all feeling the strain from it. So there's lack of funding in the state of South Carolina. Most nonprofits, they cut off the nonprofit funding for this year in the budget.
They're pushing ahead with their $10 million capital campaign regardless.
So we're helping the state by doing this because the wait list here is so long. So by having 160 units, that's taking 160 more people off the wait list for the state of South Carolina and putting them in safe housing.
While the housing is needed, it isn't affordable, especially not with recent federal cuts to Medicaid. Still, for many families, the need is urgent and the options are few.
Everyone has varying levels of service that they'll need, so we'll feel lucky that his is rather low, but it's still, very costly.
There's a lot of families out there that aren't in the position to put their young adults into a place like Osprey Village, and they're out of options. And I talked to a mom this morning. She lives in New York, and they're going to move down here. And like she said, there's no option for my child. She had a 29-year-old daughter. And she's like, there's no option for my child unless I have 1 foot in the grave.
Swansiger says his message to lawmakers is simple. See the people behind the budget cuts.
This is a growing population, and this need is going to have to be addressed some way or another. It's not going to go away.
While Osprey Village will start with only 160 homes, they're dreaming bigger, dreaming of a world where these kinds of communities aren't rare, they're expected. Because everyone deserves a place to call home.
I'm kind of excited about Osprey Village.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not ready for it yet.
Now, luckily for Jonah, he's got time to get ready. His needs aren't as urgent as many who live with intellectual development disorders who don't have options like Osprey Village waiting for them. Now, we did receive a statement from the South Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, the state's Medicaid agency. It reads in part, quote, earlier this year, the South Carolina General Assembly passed legislation that was signed by the governor to create a new agency to help address and support better access to streamlined and comprehensive services for those with IDD, with an additional emphasis on those with dual diagnoses. SCDHHS looks forward to continuing to improve access to services for those in need through collaboration with the South Carolina Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. For more on this story, be sure to visit live5news.com. In the studio, I'm Justin Kollar.